It's Valentine's Day and I have no romances. Hi Booktube, it's a haul, and it's not a mystery haul, even though March Mystery Madness is coming up and I'm one of the hostesses or hosts. I'm going to share some books with you that I acquired in February. So let's get started. The first book I have is a new one, and I got this at the library while browsing. It's called The Hero of This Book by Elizabeth McCracken, best-selling author of The Souvenir Museum, which I haven't read. I haven't read anything by her. It says it's a novel. And if you know Rumaan Alam, author of Leave the World Behind, it says it's an exhilarating book. So the question of what this work is, a novel or memoir, a fiction or a fact, can't be answered. Doesn't matter. The hero of this book is tender, funny, heartbreaking, philosophical. Elizabeth McCracken is a writer who always delights, and this is an exhilarating book. And this interested me because I usually don't like memoir that's what they call autofiction. I don't usually like that. But as I was reading this book, it's about writing. It's about let me just tell you a little bit more about it. 10 months after her mother's death, the narrator of the hero of this book takes a trip to London. The city was a favorite of her mother's. And as the narrator wanders the streets, she finds herself reflecting on her mother's life and their relationships. And it's a groundbreaking new novel from best-selling, award-winning author Elizabeth McCracken about a writer's relationship with her larger-than-life mother and the very nature of writing, memory, and art. All of these things just hit the right places for me as I'm attempting to write my second memoir, and it's not easy. The next book I want to, next two books are by Anita Brookner, and I don't think, well, I have told you in other videos, but Sarah from Hardcover Hearts and Leo from Leo's Little Book Life on Instagram just finished a theme of reading all of Anita Brookner's books. And I can't say that I plan to do the same, but I definitely plan to read. I already DNF'd one for now, but this one is really interesting to me, and I think I showed it to you before. But since I got another book by Anita Brookner, I think I'm going to start this, and it's a short one in February, and it's A Start in Life. And I think it's her first book, and it's an excellent novel, richly characterized, subtle, humorous, brilliantly drawn. Well, of course, these are the blurbs, so they're going to say something nice. But I like what it said about the book. It says, since childhood, Ruth Weiss has been escaping from life into books from the hothouse attentions of her larger-than-life parents. Is that a theme for this video? Into the gentler warmth of lovers and friends. And now Dr. Weiss, at 40, knows that her life has been ruined by literature and that once again she must make a start in life. I want to know how your life can be ruined by literature, so I'm definitely going to read this in February. And I had been waiting for this at the library because I heard from different booktubers that this is Anita Brookner's best book, and it's Look at Me. And what it's about is widely praised for its wit and subtlety. Anita Brookner's first novel, well, they said the first novel was the debut, so I guess the first novel wasn't A Start in Life. Look at Me marks a major step forward in her career with the sureness, the toughness, and the originality of a major artist writing at the height of her ability. She tells a story of bitter simplicity. A lonely woman, a librarian, absorbed in her research, is suddenly offered the promise of untried happiness, the chance to share in the life of a glittering couple, and through them in the joys and pleasures that she has been denied. So I heard that this is a very complex book, and it has that theme of loneliness and maybe trying for a different kind of life. The next book is a large print edition, so it's not exactly as big as it looks. It's called Ladder of Years by Ann Tyler. And I've already read 2 chapters. And I'll read you what it says, and I'll tell you what I think so far. In this, her 13th novel and our most beguiling yet, Ann Tyler tells the story of a 40-year-old woman, the mother of 3 almost grown children, who on a sudden impulse walks away from her marriage, hitches a ride into the unknown, and settles in a strange new town. And so Delia becomes her new impersonal life as Ms. Grinstead. So I read the first 2 chapters, and I have to say that it was a little bit over the top for me. I don't know if it's a satire or just a slight exaggeration, but yeah, I wasn't really into the unbelievability of the novels so far. But I trust Ann Tyler to maybe bring me there. So I'm going to keep on with this book. The next 2 books are written by the same author. And I talked about one of them already slightly, and that's Without Reservations by Alice Steinbach, The Travels of an Independent Woman. And I won't go into it too much, except that she passed away just a few years ago. And her writing is just beautiful. She decides to leave her quite amazing life as a journalist in New York and just take a sabbatical and go to Europe. And I haven't finished it yet, but the first part that takes place in Paris is just glorious. And also, I read the part where she's in England. And one thing that was not unbelievable to me, but that she keeps on, she has romance. She has a romance. She meets people, and it seems like everybody is drawn to her. And I've traveled alone, and I don't find that to be always the case. But, I believe it. Maybe she's the type of person. And there's a picture of her in the back. She does look very friendly. And then I had waiting for me another book, Educating Alice, Adventures of a Curious Woman. And this is more of a travelogue, I think. And 8 years ago, Alice Steinbach, a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the Baltimore Sun, so I was wrong, it's not New York, it was the Baltimore Sun, decided to take a break from her life. She took a leave from jobs, friends, and family for a European journey of self-discovery, and her first book, Without Reservations, was the exquisite result. But once Steinbach had opened the door to a new way of living, she found herself unwilling to return to the old routine. She quit her job and left home again, only this time her objective was to find a way that would allow her personally and professionally to combine 3 of her greatest passions, learning, traveling, and writing. So the funny and tender novel is the result of her decision to roam around the world as an informal student, taking lessons and courses in such things as French cooking in Paris, border collie training in Scotland, traditional Japanese arts in Kyoto, and architecture and art in Havana. And I'm really impressed with this because she was like over 60 when she did this. So, yeah. But like I said before, 60 is not 70. And when I was 60, I was roaming the globe as well. So, and I still plan to go. So anyway, I don't know what this is, if I'm going to like this, if it's more of a travelogue, but I know I like her writing. Have you read Alice Steinbach? Let me know. The last book that I'm going to show you before the ones that I haven't opened yet is a book, The Last Jews in Berlin. And it's about the so-called U-boaters who were living in plain sight in Berlin during the war, and they were Jewish. And the stories of how people helped them, or how, amazing things, how they survived. And one thing I don't like is the font. So what it says is, The Last Jews in Berlin adds a new and impassioned page to the history of World War II, the story of a dozen Jewish men and women who lived out the tumultuous war years in the very eye of the Nazi storm, U-boats they called themselves, in self-mocking reference to their life under the surface of the capital of the fanatical regime whose leaders had vowed their destruction. And like one of the books I read during my 2 years was about a U-boater. So I'm very much want to read this book, but I'm going to see if I can find it in audio version, because I don't think I can handle. This is quite small font, and it's let me see how many pages it is. Wow, there's a lot of pages. Well, it's not that big. It's about 350 pages, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that. Now we're going to get to the books that I ordered. And I know I said I wasn't going to order any books, but, well, I can't help myself, of course. But before I do that, I want to show you a book that I picked up, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to read it or not because of the problematic author, and that's Junot Diaz. And this is How You Lose Her. And let me explain. I decided to read it. So Junot Diaz turns his remarkable talent to the haunting, impossible power of love. Obsessive love, illicit love, fading love, maternal love. On a beach in the Dominican Republic, a doomed relationship flounders. In a New Jersey laundry room, a woman does her lover's washing and thinks about his wife. I'm not going to really go into this too much. Machiko Kakutani, which makes me laugh because I think of the Sex in the City, where, yeah, she's talked about a lot. She's a famous reviewer in the New York Times. And she says, Diaz has one of the most distinctive and magnetic voices in contemporary fiction, limber, streetwise, caffeinated, and wonderfully electric. And yeah, he won a lot of prizes. I'm pretty sure he won the Pulitzer Prize for one of his books. However, he's problematic because it came to light the women that he was coming in contact with during his career. They said that he was sexually molesting them, or I don't know the whole story, but you know, he's chauvinistic pig, male chauvinistic pig, according to all these women who, like I said, were either he was helping them with their writing career or just came in contact with them. So I read the first chapter. He is a magnetic writer, and he's Dominican, so it's own stories. And it's a familiar story because I was brought up in a Puerto Rican neighborhood, being half Puerto Rican. So the way he talks about going to the Dominican Republic in the first chapter with his girlfriend who's about to leave him brought back my feelings of when I went to Puerto Rico and when I was 17, and the same kind of feelings I had. Okay, now let's get to the books. And I opened them, but I didn't look at them. And there might be a mystery in here, I don't know, but I would say I have a few mysteries that I've been saving all year around for next month. Oh, okay. So I got this book recommendation by two people, by Nikki from Red Dot Reads, and please check out her channel. She's a wonderful booktuber, and she really enjoyed this book. I think she gave it 5 stars. And I think Emily from Novell Novels also was talking about this book. And it's called Saving Missy by Beth Morrey. Bittersweet, tender, thoughtful, and uplifting. I loved it. It says, prickly, stubborn, terribly lonely, but everyone deserves a second chance. And this is in great condition. It says, Missy Carmichael's life has become small. Grieving for a family she has lost. And there's a picture of her here. And she's has gray hair. But now young people have gray hair, so I don't know if that means anything. But grieving for a family she has lost or lost touch with, she's haunted by the echoes in her empty house, the sound of the radio in the dark, the tick, tick, tick of the watching clock. Spiky and defensive, Missy knows that her loneliness is all her fault. She deserves no more than this, not after what she's done. But a chance encounter in the park with two very different women opens the door to something new. Another life beckons for Missy. So, yeah, I usually don't read a lot of contemporary fiction, but I do like contemporary fiction when it's about older women, and yeah, that's one of my goals for this channel. The next book I'm going to open, and I have no idea what it is or where it's from even. Let's see what it is. It is, oh, it's a mystery. I shouldn't show it to you, but I will. It's Patricia Wentworth, The Case is Closed. So I won't tell you too much about it because I'm probably going to show it to you during March Mystery Madness. But it's a Miss Silver mystery, and it just says the Everton murder case has long been closed. The culprit has been charged with the murder of his uncle and has served a year of his sentence already. Or has he? And look at this cover. I mean, it's so vintage. I just love it. I just love it. The telephone that I was brought up with, the hairdos that, well, that was before my time, maybe in the 40s. Let's see when this book was written. It's almost new. I love when that happens. And I just bought another. It was 1937. So I thought it was 30s or 40s. And I love books set around that time. So I want to thank you, Lil from Lil's Vintage World, for introducing me to Miss Silver. And the last book, where's this from? Not sure. Blackwell's. I love Blackwell's. Oh, this is my favorite of all. The Juniper Tree by Barbara Comyns. And I'm pretty sure that Lil from Lil's Vintage World again introduced me to this magnificent writer who was very underappreciated. And this is a new book. I remember that I bought this new, The Juniper Tree. And this is one of her famous novels. And I've read a few of her novels already. And I think I want to collect them all. And it says, the novel achieves a life of its own and allows Bella to emerge at last from her ordeal with a feminist, fertile, happy fairy tale ending, hypnotic and enthralling in the process. So I'm not sure what that means, so let me read a little more. Bella Winter has hit a low. Homeless and jobless, she is the mother of a toddler by a man whose name she didn't quite catch. And her once pretty face is disfigured by the scar she acquired in a car accident. Friendless and without family, she's recently disengaged herself from a selfish and indifferent boyfriend and a cruel and indifferent mother. I love it. I love it already. I want to read this right away. And I'll let you know what, I am reading a few books right now, and I'll tell you about that in another video. But this is my haul for February. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I'm Marilyn Mendoza, and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, and please hit the notification bell so you can find out when I have all my videos uploaded. So thank you so much for stopping by, and like and comment and tell me what you think of my February haul without any romance. Well, it doesn't seem like there's any romance, but there might be. So until we meet again, my friends, aloha.